Greetings, traveler of the night. Come in and join me. Yeah, you. I can see you there. Come in. Okay, guys, welcome back. We're doing another Halloween episode. And recently I've been watching all these vampire and Dracula movies and playing vampire board games, reading vampire comics. Kind of hooked on vampires. Yeah. Therefore, I have this fun little comic book to show you guys today. So in today's episode, we are going to talk about Vlad the Impaler, Dracula. Very nice. Yeah. So this is a collection of 3 issues that came out originally in early 90s, 93, 92. And this collects the whole comic book in black and white. This came out in 2021. And yeah, so it's very cool because it has that old 90s style and feel to it, and the illustrations. I mean, we're getting ahead of ourselves as usual. Okay, let's start with the usual stuff first. So this is a comic book written by Roy Thomas and illustrated by Esteban Maroto. Now, Esteban Maroto, he has illustrated a lot of stuff. Among them, Red Sonja, and I think some Conan as well. And Roy Thomas, you probably know who that is if you're into comic books. He co-created a lot of famous Marvel characters like Ghost Rider, Wolverine, Iron Fist, and he's done a lot of different stuff. Yeah, and I think also Roy Thomas did another Dracula comic book as well, Dracula Lives. And as I said, this came out in 1992 or 93, I think 93. So that's 1 year after Bram Stoker's Dracula came out, the movie. So there was a lot of cool vampire stuff going on back then in the 90s. And that was when vampires were pretty badass and cool still. Yeah, okay. So is this a horror vampire Dracula story? Well, kinda, and maybe not. So, yeah, and this is published by IDW in this version. Originally, the publisher was Topps Comics. And, okay, let's have a look. So, here is the first page. And we get to see Dracula with his fangs, and he has his dragon medallion around his neck, and you can see the ruins of the castle and some skeletons and monsters, and he's like, I am Dracula. Maybe not in that voice, but yeah. So then on the next page, it's Dracula narrating. He's like, welcome to my house. My house. Enter freely and of your own will. My castle was not always as you see it now. A vast ruined edifice through whose tall black windows comes no ray of light. Nor was I, as I am now, an undead thing that drifts like a chill mist through the corridors of night. Yeah, because when you see him here, he looks like a vampire. No, I was born of warm flesh, warm blood, even as you, my friend. Not in this sanctuary of crumbling stone looming high among the crags above the Borgo Pass, but in a far-away, cheerier palatial mansion in the town of Sigisoara, in the tiny Balkan state of Transylvania in the year the Crosswielders call 1431. So that's the first page. And then after that, we don't have much supernatural stuff. After that, we go to Vlad the Impaler, Vlad the Third's origin story. And that's what this comic book is all about. So this is Roy Thomas and Esteban Maroto approaching the story of Dracula from like a realistic place and trying to cover the history of the man behind the myth. So you get to follow like him when he's growing up, when him and his brother Radu, when they are sent as prisoners to the Ottoman Empire, and when they grow up there, and all that stuff is in this book. So if you're familiar with Vlad the Impaler's background, then this is definitely worth checking out. Now, if you're unfamiliar with any of Vlad's background story, I would say some parts here, there were a lot happening, and some parts going very like jumping from one thing to the next. So it wasn't always that easy to follow the story, but it is still a very, very good comic book. And the illustrations are amazing. I love it like this in black and white. It reminds me of those old Conan comics. And also you have a lot of violence. You have a lot of killing and heads on stakes and a lot of impaling. So if you're not into, if you don't like violent comic books and blood and like heads on stakes and stuff, then don't read this. But if you like that stuff like me, then you definitely should check it out. And it's also interesting because they never try to like depict Vlad as a nice, sympathetic guy. He's a ruthless killer and a ruler that he has very little mercy, and he doesn't change from beginning to end. But you get to see like how everything goes. Okay. I don't think I need to talk much more about the story of this one. So, except for the beginning and maybe the end, it's a very down-to-earth story. Yeah. So if you want to know more about Vlad the Impaler's background, you can check this out. Yeah. Okay. So that's it for today. Thanks for stopping by, guys, and I have a couple of more videos planned throughout the next few days before Halloween is over. So stick around, and I'll see you in the next episode. All right, take care, and good night.